The whole Marvel Legends Fantastic Four wave has arrived, but let's take a closer look at the Silver Surfer. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember now, you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today, we continue by wrapping up the Marvel Legends Fantastic Four First Steps wave. As in front of us, it is the Silver Surfer. But of course, in this movie, it is a female Silver Surfer. But it isn't just a gender-swapped Norrin Radd. No, it is Shalla-Bal, a character that is taken directly from the comic. She is a love interest of Norrin Radd. But our questions will be answered. We will have more context in just a couple of weeks when the movie is out. But we have seen glimpses of her in the trailer. She is played by Julia Gardner. Granted, it is going to be a full CGI character. I doubt we're going to get her human version. But again, time will tell. We have the Marvel Legend in her Silver Surfer form. And it's one of those character designs that absolutely could sneak into your comic display as well, as we have never otherwise had the female Silver Surfer until now. I'm glad that she comes with a stand for her surfboard, not something we usually get, and a couple of interchangeable hands as well. There we have the retro packaging, a picture of her on the side, that same image on the back of the box. So let's not waste any time and get her open. So here we have Shalla-Bal, the Silver Surfer, out of the packaging with all of her accessories. And of course, I've switched to the black background so you can actually see her as she is in that silvery metallic plastic, but she does seem to have a bit of a gold wash on her as well. In regards to accessories, I ain't really got anything to complain about. She has fisted hands out of the packaging, some open palm hands, and she even has a gripping hand for holding onto the surfboard. The surfboard itself is massive, and it's also got some unique texturing and sculpt that we've never gotten on the previous surfboard, so no reuse there. And also a unique sort of cosmic stand so you can actually display her properly, which is a nice touch, as the only previous stand we have gotten is with the Galactus HasLab. So for a single pack Silver Surfer to come with an actual nice, uniquely sculpted stand, that will look nice on the display. So let me move them out of the way. Of course, we're going to get into lots of comparisons, but first, let's take a closer look. Now, as we take a closer look, I'm not going to stress too much about the likeness to Julia Gardner, because let's be honest, this character is probably going to be a full CGI character within the movie. And what we've seen in the trailer so far, I'm hoping is like early CGI and they ramp it up a little bit for the actual film. But the likeness is there a little bit, right? A little bit, at least based off what we've seen in the trailer. Definitely got the similarities with the sort of black eyeliner and the black lips as well. So there's definitely some features within that otherwise tin head sculpt, with her hair sort of slick back as well, going down on the back. And again, that does have a nice black wash to it as well, to be fair. And you'd also see some gold highlights as well as it sort of hits the light just right. It sort of looks like it's coffee stained a little bit, but I guess they're intentional sort of gold wash to sort of give her cosmic rays or something as the light hits her. But yeah, just looking at the head sculpt one more, I do think the likeness is there a tiny bit. If you paint Julia Gardner's face completely silver, yeah, it would sort of look like that a little bit, right? So yeah, bravo. The eyes are definitely there for sure. And then, as I said, the black outline on the eyes and on the lips, a nice wash over the face. So nothing to complain about there. Again, the hair looks good as well. The head is on a disc and hinge, so you can get her looking down, zero problem at all. Looking up though, a little bit hindered because of her hair obviously running down her back. So that's not a problem. That's what you'd expect. But yeah, there is a bit of a wash to that face, and that wash sort of does continue throughout the body as well. Now, it is not a completely chrome painted Marvel Legend like we have seen in the past with Rom and also Ultron. This is definitely like the sort of metallic-y plastic, which some people don't like. Maybe it's a mixture of both, but I do think there's a little bit of marbleization there. Now, some people really dislike that, but for me, it's never really been an issue when it's meant to be plastic imitating metal. And also, she's meant to be a cosmic being with the cosmic energy, so I don't mind there being like little hints and glimmers of different sort of shades in there, rather than it being a perfect sort of chrome. But other people may differ, and that's absolutely fine. She is female and pinless, which is good to see, especially on a character design which is very simplistic like this. So yeah, hopefully, as I'm sort of taking a closer look here, you can see the sort of gold wash on the chest, and it goes down a little bit on the torso. and then again on the back. So again, maybe my lights are a little bit too harsh, but I assure you there is a wash throughout this body. In regards to articulation, shoulders go up, biceps swivel, double jointed pinless elbows, cannot be mad at that at all. There's a rock on the torso, but it's the old female body, so there's no otherwise swivel at the waist or anything like that. The swivel's going to be at that rocker, and there's more back than forward, to be fair, but that should be all okay for posing, but not the best we've seen. Going down to the legs, you get the cut at the thigh. Legs go pretty far up, and then you've got double jointed pinless knees, which are pretty slick, to be fair. No complaints with that. Ankle pivot and rocker, and she does have pins in both of her feet, so you can pin her to the surfboard, but the surfboard only has one pin otherwise. So yeah, as you'd expect. And again, I do think this is one of those character designs that you could absolutely put into a comic display, as it's basically a female Silver Surfer. Getting into accessories, first up you get a set of fisted hands. You get a set of open palms, like spread out posing hands that we've seen on female Marvel Legends lots before. And then you get one extra right hand, which is like posed in a sort of cupping motion, and that is to allow her to hold the surfboard standing vertically. Of course, it wouldn't be the Silver Surfer if we didn't also get a surfboard, and this is unique. This isn't just a reuse of anything we have gotten in the past. This is a newly sculpted Silver Surfer surfboard for our MCU representation, and all of these sort of sculpted details you can see are actually embedded into the surfboard. Nicely done. You get one peg, but it also has some of that gold wash on the top of it as well to sort of complement the same wash on the Marvel Legends. So that is a nice little touch. But yes, otherwise that is your surfboard. If you get the tape measure out, we can see the surfboard itself is about, yeah, 8¼ inches, or about 8½ inches in length. So how does that compare to the previous one, you ask? Well, luckily I have it right here, and it is bigger. Look at that. So the old one is literally sort of smaller by about ½ inch, and it's not as wide either. So yes, that is your difference between comic and MCU Silver Surfer surfboard. Her last accessory, which will definitely interest some, is that you actually get a cosmic wave for her to ride her surfboard on, which is a very nice touch, as this will definitely add to the display, as you can instantly display her riding her wave. And of course, if you have a Silver Surfer, you want them to be riding the surfboard. So this isn't something we've ever got before with a single pack Silver Surfer, so I very much appreciate this. It's done in like a yellow orangey piece of plastic, and then it has some darker colours as you get to the end of the sort of splash. But yeah, it's very nicely done. It's only a little bit off the ground, about an inch or so, I would say. Look at that. So yeah, it's just about an inch off the ground, maybe 2 inches as you get to the end of the wave, as it is sort of on an angle. But yeah, it's nicely done. So how do we attach the surfboard, I hear you ask? Well, you get the surfboard and you want to slide it in so the smaller end goes in, and you keep it flush, and it will get held on by friction. Like, look at that. That is now held on to the surfboard quite tightly, and you get the splashes sort of going over the edge of the surfboard, which creates a really nice effect. And then you put that onto the ground, and you want to attach the Silver Surfer to it. And there we have Shada Bao riding her surfboard. What's that generic surfing song? Honestly, it looks really nice. Honestly, I like that you can put this onto the display straight away. You could surround her with characters and she would stick out just a little bit, but in a good way. I like how you got her leaning up as well, like she's coming out of a wave. And again, the sort of gold wash on her does complement the sort of burnt oranges of the actual plastic stand. So that is a very nice touch. I actually think this is a great figure, great representation of the character, at least based off the trailer images that we've seen, and also something you can absolutely sort of sneak into your comic displays as the female Shada Bao, the love interest of Norrin Rad. So let's do a comparison with him, shall we? So up, here we have our comic and MCU Silver Surfer, and remember, she isn't gender swapped. She is a different, unique character from the comics, making a debut in the MCU. And because it's an alternate universe, I'm allowing it, even though I obviously do prefer Norrin Rad, who doesn't. But there we have them both surfing. So that is how they look together. She already looks more interesting and more fun with her stand, as she's more dynamic to pose, more interesting to look at. So yeah, that is definitely an unfortunate thing of our regular Silver Surfer, as he never really had a stand or a base or anything to really highlight him surfing. So that is a nice packing, a nice touch with the female Silver Surfer. So a lot of people are going to be asking, can you use that stand with this board? Well, I don't think you can, but we can try. And just like I assumed, the board is too thin, so there's no friction grip from the stand, just like you can on the MCU one. So you can't really use this stand for this surfboard unless you put a little bit of blue tack onto the board and you just want to glue it into position. But there's no need to do that, because instead you could just get Norin Rad actually surfing this board. So if I bring him in, the peg, let me see if it fits. Yeah, the peg fits. So you could just have Norin Rad actually riding her surfboard instead. He could borrow it. And there we have our comic Silver Surfer riding this MCU surfboard. And again, the wash on the surfboard complements the board. So he still looks really nice. Doesn't look out of place. So for anyone thinking, oh, I'll just buy this to get a nice Silver Surfer surfboard and a stand, then yeah, you sort of could. Look at that. He's riding the surfboard. No problem. And of course, if anybody has the HasLab Galactus, then we did get a stand for the Silver Surfer that Galactus can hold. You can use it as a separate base, but it's a little bit temperamental. It probably will fall over on a display. But for anyone who wanted to see what these two look like, there you go. Both on their stands, but hers is a lot sturdier than the one we got with Galactus, even though his is higher. And of course, you could use her on his stand as well. So yes, to confirm, the foot pegs are universal across them both. You can switch and swap boards if you want to. And it also means you could get your HasLab Galactus to hold the female Silver Surfer if you just use his board. Not a problem. Here we have our shiny Marvel Legend comparison, as we have Jocasta, the Silver Surfers, and then Ultron. And all of them have their own sort of variation of the chrome paint or the marbleization on the plastic. But the female Silver Surfer is the only one to have that sort of gold wash on the body. As I said, hopefully it comes across on camera, but it's very much looks like it's coffee stained, but intentional, I promise. And of course, here we have the Silver Surfer next to the Fantastic Four themselves. Hang on a minute. Flame on! There we go, that looks better. Honestly, having spent some time with these figures this past week has genuinely made me anticipate the movie that little bit more. And based off what we've seen in the trailer, these look like solid representations of the film. So hopefully, seeing the film, we enjoy the film, that makes us even happier that we have these in our collection ready to go. You let me know in the comments below. Do you want to see me do a recap and ranking of this wave? See what order I like them in? It's always awkward with MCU waves, but I'll do it. Let me know. And remember, it's your collection. You create your own rules. But I do think this would work in a comic display. So here we have Shadowbow next to the retro Fantastic Four. Some more comic Marvel Legends, of course. We have Doctor Doom. Expect a lot more of them in the coming years. And then we have Loki. Back to the MCU. Here we have Sam Wilson, Captain America, and Shang-Chi. A couple of MCU females, probably stealth and invisible on my black background. But here they are nevertheless. You've got Yelena and Shuri, Black Panther. Here we have Charles Xavier and Logan, Wolverine. And let's get her back off the board just to compare her to a couple of comic Marvel Legends. We've got Black Widow, who again, you probably can't see on the black background. But someone I never show off because I'm usually on a white background is the White Queen herself, Emma Frost. And I know you guys want to see Galactus, but honestly, it would make such a mess of my display. Maybe I'll do a separate video if I get enough love in the comments. But right now, let's wrap up with some of the Who crew. We've got Frogman and Tigra. And then last but never least, we have Hellfire Hank riding those cosmic waves I see. But there you go. An example that you can use it with other Marvel Legends. But there is Captain Britain and Hal Fire Hank. So, final thoughts on this Marvel Legends Fantastic Four First Steps Silver Surfer. Now, of course, we have yet to see the film, so we don't really have much context about this character apart from what we've seen in the trailer. But based off that, this looks like a solid representation and a great Marvel Legend as well. It's one of those that can blur the line between comic and MCU, as we've never had a comic version of Shadowbow, so you can absolutely throw this into a cosmic display or throw it amongst your Heralds of Galactus. But yeah, she looks really good. I like her surfboard. I like that you got that cosmic wave as a stand, as it adds to the dynamicness of the display. There's some nice wash on that silver body as well to bring out the sculpted detail of the hair. And again, until you get this in person, I don't think you can really see the actual wash of the gold. And I think that will be different on every figure as well. So again, you can make your mind up when you get it yourself, if you get it yourself, and let me know in the comments below. But if you like Marvel Legends, you are absolutely in the right place. I've reviewed this whole wave. Make sure you go and check out the videos tab, find the playlist, but most importantly, please, please, please hit that subscribe button, hit all of the notification bell, don't miss out on the video, and please hit that join button, become a channel member, either show some love or join the members club. Much, much appreciated. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. I'm on X at Dan Who Reviews, and I will of course see you on the next one.